I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every.
Hi designers, welcome back to my channel. And you guys, this was one of the requested video. So I got this from my Instagram, a DM, and when I uploaded it on the YouTube community, you guys really accepted it. And here we have the first requested video. Now before we get into this video, in case you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Vivianaddict. I'm a fashion designer based in Abuja, and if you're watching me from somewhere else, Abuja is in Nigeria. So thank you for joining us. Guys, I just want to beg you briefly, if you're a beginner, please don't click out. Stay tuned, open up your mind to what we're about to recreate, because it's really easy. Yes, so I just want you guys to really pay attention, open up your mind. If you're a beginner, you can also be able to recreate this if you pay really close attention, because I made it in a way that everyone can be able to understand. The one that is new to sewing, the one that already knows something about sewing, yeah, it's just going to be that detailed. So just stay tuned, open up your mind. And you guys, in case you like what I'm wearing, you like the outfit I'm wearing, this is going to be the next video I'll upload after the part 1 and part 2 of the jumpsuit. So just stay tuned, stay subscribed, and if you've not clicked on the notification bell, yes, there's the notification bell, locate it, click on it, so that anytime I upload a video you get the notification and you start recreating fast. So get your pencil, get your paper, get your cleaner, get your marker, get your scissors, everything you know you use for sewing, just get them ready. Let's go into this pattern draft.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain.
So the width of my pattern paper is, I placed the tape from my center back to my sleeve length, and I got 17 inches. I went ahead to add 3 inches as the allowance, so making my width 20 inches. So the wideness of my pattern paper right now is 20 inches. Now if you're bigger than my size, I think you go ahead and add 4 inches allowance or 5 inches allowance, depend on how big you are. Now the length of my jumpsuit is going to be 60 inches, so that's from my shoulder to my full length is 60 inches. That is what I'm using. Now I'm just going to go ahead and mark 3 inches out of this pattern. You know, I added 3 inches as my allowance, so I'll be marking that out. I'm just going to place my tape and go in by 3 inches. Then I'll rule a straight line, you know, to demarcate the 3 inches from the other part of the pattern paper, so I can go ahead and mark my measurements. So you guys go ahead and take this step. If you have your fabric instead of a pattern, I will advise you go ahead and fold your fabric into 2. You don't really need to have a pattern paper. Your fabric is okay. Just go ahead and fold your fabric into 2 before marking this measurement. And before you cut, make sure you cross-check before you cut out your fabric. Now I have my 3 inches here. Let's go ahead and mark the points, the vertical points. Now the first point I'll be marking is my bust point. So I'll place the tape from the top of the pattern paper, which is going to be acting as my shoulder point. I'll place it and go down by 10.5 as my bust point. So this 10.5 is also going to be the width of my sleeves, and you guys will get to understand. Let's get to that point first.
As they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
So this point here is my bust point. I'll go ahead and indicate that so you know. And then the next point I'll be marking is my waist point. So you guys, if you don't want your own jumpsuit to have shape, if you don't want it to have the waist point, just go ahead and skip this part. So I'll just go ahead and indicate that this is the waist point. And now the measurements, the next measurement I'll be marking is my hip measurement. So I'll place the tape from my waist point and go down by 10 inches as my hip point. You can also mark this from your shoulder. If you know your measurement from your shoulder, like from your shoulder to your hip, if you know the measurement, go ahead and place the tape from your shoulder to where you have your hip. Find out what you have there and then mark this from your shoulder. But I'll be marking this from my waist point. It's the same thing. So this is just shorter because my table is smaller. Yeah, that is why I'm doing this. So you get to see what I'm doing. Now the next point I'll be marking is my crotch points. Now let's talk about how to get your crotch points. Go ahead and place the tape from your front waistline to your back waistline. Now whatever number you get, you divide that number by 2. That is your crotch points. Now my crotch point is 11 inches. I'll be adding 3 inches to that. So I'll be adding extra 3 inches because this is a jumpsuit and it's a onesie. It doesn't have a half cut. It's together, and this jumpsuit is actually big. It is not fitted. Now, so make sure you add 3 inches to your crotch point. That step it down by 3 inches. If you're bigger than me, I think you want to do it 4 inches or 5 inches. Just make sure you step down. If you get your crotch points, make sure you step down. You add extra allowance to your crotch before you mark this down from your waist point. So like I said, mine was 11 inches. I added 3 inches to that. So now what I'm marking as my crotch point is 14 inches. I hope that was clear. Now I'm just going to indicate that this is the hip point and this is the crotch point. So hope you have this already on your pattern, your crotch and your hip point, your waist point. And the base of the pattern is going to be my length. Yeah, you guys, let's go ahead and mark our round measurements. Now the first point I'll be dividing the round measurement is my round bust. My round bust is 36 inches divided by 4 gives you 9. That is what I'll be marking on the bust line. So yeah, and you're marking this after the 3 inches. Don't forget that this 3 inches has nothing to do with our measurement yet. So don't mark from the 3 inches, mark after. Now after marking my bust measurement, my round bust, I'll be adding 1 inch to this as my ease. So if you don't want your jumpsuit to be as free as mine, you add lesser. You can add 0.5, which is half inches. But if you want it to be the same as mine, just go ahead and add 1 inch as your ease. Now moving on, my waist point, I'll be dividing this by 4. And once I mark that, I'll mark 1 inch as the ease, just as I did on the bust point. If you don't want this to have shape like mine, all you do is take the measurement from your bust line straight down to your hip. So once I was done marking my waist measurement, I'll connect this to the bust line like this. And now you can see that we already have the sleeve created. All we need to do is create a curve. So what I did is just make a curve. I created a curve from under the bust line to meet the bust line like this. I just created a curve. So you guys go ahead and create a curve, and this automatically creates your sleeve. Now the distance between my bust line and the curve I created is 1 inch. So the neck width I'll be using for my jumpsuit is 3 inches. That is how wide the neck will be. Remember, the neck width for the front and the back is always the same. And yeah, make sure you're marking this after the center front line.
Way back a year ago.
Now because of this pattern is the back pattern and the front pattern, I'll be marking the neck depth for the back pattern. So the neck depth, I'll be stepping it down by 1 inch on the neckline. That's for the back. Now that is how deep my back neck would be. I'll go down by 1 inch and I'll connect it to the neck width like this, creating another curve. And you guys, the next thing I'll be marking is the neck depth for my front piece. And this is where an incident happened. You guys, at this point I was trying to mark my neck depth using a red marker, and the red marker spilled on my pattern paper. Oh god, it was funny, but I decided to go ahead and continue marking. I didn't let it stop me. So I'll go ahead and mark 3 inches down as my neck depth for the front pattern, and I'll also connect this to the neck width. So you guys are going to see how I'll connect this, and I'll just make a curve like this from the neck width to the neck depth for the front. And I also indicate which is the front and the back, so you know. The B on the top is for the back neckline, and then the F here is for the front neckline. So yeah, you guys forgive my pattern paper right now, but I hope you guys can see what is happening. Now move down to the hip points, and I'll divide my round hip by 4. My round hip is 42 inches, divided by 4 gives you 10.5. So I'll be marking this also after the 3 inches line, so make sure you mark after the line after. So once I marked my round hip divided by 4, I'll be marking that same measurement on my crotch line. So what I got on my round hip divided by 4 was 10.5. I'll be marking that measurement on my crotch line. And I'll just go ahead and add 1 inch as is. So I'll add the 1 inch on the hip line. I'll also add the 1 inch on the crotch line. Hope you guys understand that we marked the same measurement on the hip. The same measurement on the hip, we marked that on the crotch line, and now we're adding 1 inch allowance to that, to both of them. And I'm just going to go ahead and connect the line together. That's from the hip line. I'll connect it to the crotch, and now I'll extend this to the waistline. So as you can see, the pattern is coming together. I hope you guys are getting all the explanation. Please let me know in the comment section. Now back to the crotch line. What I will do is on the crotch point, I will extend this by 2 inches. So I'm just going to mark 2 inches out. Now this is marking into the 3 inches allowance we left. So I'm just coming out by 2 inches, and I drew the line. Now this is our new crotch line. I'm just going to go ahead and create the curve for the crotch. Now if you have a curve ruler for this part, perfect. But if you don't have, just see what I did. I used my free hand and I created a curve. Very simple and very easy. A curve that extends into the 2 inches, and that is it.
It stays way back a year ago. I've changed for the...
Now let's go ahead and mark the middle point of the trouser. And to do this, I'm just going to place my tape like this. I'm placing this after the 3 inches. I'll place the tape like this, and I got 12 inches. I'll go ahead and divide that number by 2 like this. So you fold your tape like this, and I'm just going to mark the middle point. The middle point is 6 inches. Now I'll go ahead and mark this on the length. So I'm marking the middle point on the length also. And you guys remember, this is after the 3 inches allowance. So yeah, after the 3 inches allowance, I'll go ahead and mark 6 inches in as the middle point. And now I'll connect both points together with my long ruler. And once I have my middle points indicated already, the next thing I need to do is determine how wide my trouser will be. And how wide I want this to be is 24 inches wide. I divided 24 inches by 2. I got 12. Now I'm just going to mark half of 12 to the right and to the left from the middle point. Since I already have 6 inches here, I'm just going to mark 6 inches out from the middle point on the other side. So the line we created after the 3 inches, I'm just going to go ahead and blend my crotch point into it like this. Just very easy. And now I'll connect this part down to the 6 inches we marked after the middle point. And you guys, this is it. We are done. All we have to do now is add ½ inch allowance around this pattern paper. Like round, everywhere is just going to collect that file. So every part of this pattern paper is going to get ½ inches allowance. So I'm just marking ½ inch around the pattern paper. And now you guys stay tuned for the sewing version. I'll be uploading this after this pattern drafting. And another thing I want you guys to know is, in case you're using your fabric for this, all you have to do is extend your back crotch line by 2 inches. So that's the difference between the front piece and the back piece of this jumpsuit. Is just extend your crotch line by 2 inches, and that is it. So just go ahead and do this part, follow the step I did. But just remember to extend your back crotch line by 2 inches. If you cannot wait for me to upload the sewing version, just go ahead and extend your crotch line by 2 inches, and there you have it for your back piece. And make sure you cut out the front neckline where you're cutting your front piece, and then cut out your back neckline where you're cutting your back piece. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting out my pattern paper so you guys can see this clearly. And like I said, I'll be cutting out my back neckline because this pattern is for the front and the back piece. So when I place this on the fabric to cut out my back piece, I'm going to now cut out my back neckline and extend my crotch line by 2 inches. And once I'm done, I'll go ahead and cut out the front neckline on the pattern, and then I'll cut this on the fabric. And you guys, that is it for this video. This is all I have for you guys. Stay tuned for the sewing version. I love you guys so much. You guys are creative. You guys are so wonderful. I appreciate each and every one of you, and keep up the amazing work. You guys, I see them and I appreciate, and the creator of the universe also sees it, and he's going to bless you wonderfully for your efforts. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate, and you guys, see you on the sewing version. Bye.
My head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going live. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.